I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Graham Noble, Sarah Cowgill, James Fight, and Jeff Charles. And this is the Conservative 5, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. The anti-gun lobby, mostly Democrats and progressives, want people to believe that much of America supports tight gun restrictions. But as the saying goes, the numbers don't lie. Folks continue to purchase firearms at record levels, no matter the rumors being reported. So why is the activist media reporting that America is ready to turn in her right to bear arms? James Fight, probably nobody has written more on this subject than you.
Well, I've certainly written a lot on the subject. The activist media is going to say whatever the activist media feels they have to say to push their narrative. And, you know, gun enthusiasts and Second Amendment advocates, we kind of have it's a love-hate relationship with that, because on the one hand, it's of course offensive to threaten our natural rights for self-defense. But on the other hand, nothing sells more guns than the left, than you know, threats of gun control and all that. And I mean, it's.
Well, let me just ask you quickly, inform our viewers. Let's say they hadn't read your article. Are people really buying guns in record numbers? What do the numbers look like? What are the stats saying?
Gun buying has increased drastically, especially since the COVID pandemic, as you yourself covered as well, Lisa. You know, we live in scary times, or we are at least hopefully coming out of a scary time in history. Now we have a very anti-gun administration in the White House trying to push gun control. Well, we've got a recent gun control bill that wasn't what the president wanted. But.
Well, something like the latest polls said like 69% of Americans believe there's going to be some type of armed conflict, some kind of a civil war.
Right. And if that happens,
I don't remember where I saw that. It was just recent. And that's why people are, you know, it's for protection. I mean, there's a reason we have a Second Amendment, and people are buying guns. People who've never had guns are buying and learning how to use them safely. And, you know, for home protection, for hunting, for worst case scenarios, like a government taking your rights away.
I think one thing we have to remember is that the media, the as Jeff likes to call them, the activist media, you know what they do? They actually employ a psychological tool to push their preferred agenda. And that psychological tool is actually peer pressure. You see what the media does. They do it with abortion. They do it with guns. They do it with all the big issues of the day. They always publish article after article that says, well, most Americans believe this, and most Americans are in favor of that. And you know what they do with that? Because they're actually trying to put pressure on Americans. They're actually trying to convince Americans, well, you know, according to this article, most Americans are in favor of more gun control, or most of Americans support abortion rights, or most of Americans, blah, blah, blah. They're applying peer pressure. They're trying to bully people into signing up for a certain agenda on the basis of, well, I must be in a minority. You know, most people want to do this. So, you know, I'm kind of, I must be some kind of extremist if I don't agree with that. So I better go along with it. That's what's going on here with gun control and so many other issues.
But Graham, it seems like there's nothing but a backlash. I mean, I remember at the beginning of COVID walking down to the local gun sale store where I was and asking, the parking lot was jammed. And so many of them, I walked in the parking lot, so many of them, Jeff, were like first time buyers. And I'm like, do you know how to fire that weapon? Nope, have no idea. Yeah. Wow, you better sort of, you know, take a class, get a grip here.
Well, you know? I'll just add a quick caveat because what you just said, Lisa, is very important, and I'll add the caveat that you know what I'm saying is that is how the left wing media operates. They're trying to use this kind of peer pressure to persuade people to go along with a certain agenda. I'm not necessarily saying that's working. You know,
yeah, I think it's the opposite.
Right.
But what Graham Noble was referring to is a marketing concept called social proof. If you can convince people that a lot of people are doing something, you're more likely to go along with it. So you know what? I'm going to use that right now. I'm going to give a scientific example and an anecdotal. Scientifically, last month, gun sales exceeded 1 million. For the 35th consecutive month, it has exceeded 100 million gun sales have. So that's according to a study. Anecdotally, I first became a gun owner last September. My mom was terrified. Like, why do you need a gun? Remember, we're from Southern California, so you're gonna have to excuse us.
Well, guns kill
now
people.
Now she's telling me that she wants to get a gun. She wants to get a pistol. She wants to learn how to shoot. When I go back to Texas, I'm going to take her and I'm going to show her. I'm going to make sure that she gets in the right classes. I'm going to make sure that she has an instructor because, to Lisa's point, you do have to make sure that you're trained. But she has come full circle on this. Now, she may not get into shooting like I am, but she wants to protect herself, and she's seeing what other Americans are seeing. The government cannot protect you. We've got skyrocketing crime rates all across the nation. They still haven't gone down. You've got all kinds of uncertainty going on with the markets. Yeah, people want to be armed. So that's really the social proof. And that's why we need to keep hammering this point home if we support gun rights, because people are voting with their wallets on this, and the gun sales bear that out.
They're just not buying the Kool-Aid here. They're just not drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, they're saying what they really want with their wallets. And they're going out in record numbers. And especially, by the way, the statistics show women and Blacks are buying more guns because they feel like, let's face it, the line is that the gun is the great equalizer. And, I'm like a 120-pound woman. What's going to, make me go against somebody like Jeff, who's a big guy, right? I mean, if he's got a gun, I need something to defend myself. And a lot of women see that as the issue, and it's part of their self-defense.
All right, we're not targeting you, Jeff. I'm just saying.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I just thought you're the tallest guy here.
Yeah, no, but I'm happy about it because I worry about my mom. She lives alone. I want her to be able to have a pistol so that she can. Chances are she will never have to use it. But any woman in my life, I want them to be able to protect themselves because you're right. Even if I don't have a gun, I have an advantage over most women. So yeah, a gun. It's like people say gun control is racist. Well, it's also sexist too.
Yeah, exactly. For those of you who don't know, Jeff's minimum is 6'2", I think, or are you 6'3"?
6'3".
Yeah. He's a really tall guy. But anyway, our Second Amendment rights are on the line, whether the Democrats will admit it or not. And it's no wonder that gun sales are going through the roof. Graham, I'm going to give you the final word because I think you feel really strongly about the right to self-defense, and you've written about it extensively on libertynation.com.
Well, I do. I feel incredible. I would go further than I am as some people may have noticed, I am a big fan of the Constitution. That's just, you may not know that about me, but to me, self-defense goes way beyond the Constitution. Self-defense is the most fundamental human right there is. The right to protect oneself and one's family against a physical attack. That goes back way beyond the Constitution. It goes back to the dawn of civilization, and so it is everyone's right. And the only thing that disappoints me, quite frankly, is that a majority of gun owners actually do not carry guns in public. And even a majority of concealed carry permit holders do not carry their guns on a daily basis in public. And, I hate to be a contrarian. Actually, that's not true. I love to be a contrarian.
I was going to say, you're not going to get away with that one.
But, my view is that one of the reasons why there is so much gun violence and so many mass shootings is not enough of the people who are legally entitled to carry a gun in public do so. And I quite frankly think they should step up and do it.
All right, I'm going to tell you exactly why that is. Because of all the regulations. That's why. Because here in Virginia,
and the stigma as well.
Yeah. I mean, here in Virginia, I had to fill out paperwork this thick in Fairfax County to get the right to carry concealed. Yeah. Then if I go across the bridge to see my best friend in Maryland, oops, and I happen to have my concealed carry gun on me, I'm in big trouble. What if I want to go downtown to a museum and I have my concealed carry with me in Washington, D.C.? It's a holding mess. And that's really, they've got us kind of in the crosshairs in that kind of situation. But anyway, we're way over. Thank you, panel. And thanks to our audience for watching. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble. We're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, surf on over to libertynation.com. Join us in the member zone, just $17.76 for the entire year. Thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank DiOrio, our executive producer, Sarah Calgill. I'm Lisa K. Donner, editor-in-chief. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.